We're doing a 100 XRP giveaway, and all you have to do to enter is make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below. Having said that, today I want to take a deeper look at the XRP price and where I think it's heading in the next couple of weeks. And the main reason I want to do this is because of all the pessimism and all the negative thoughts I've been experiencing within the community right now. Even though I've already expressed here that this correction is completely normal and was bound to happen, and even if we check the bigger picture here, it's actually a perfect bounce to the 0.618 Fibonacci extension level. It's actually like a little ways above it. I mean, it also depends on where we think the run started here. If you think the run started officially here, it actually dipped down below it. But if you think the run started here, the 7th of November, then it actually did not dip there fully. In my opinion, we can actually get one dip towards 44 cents or so, something along those lines, as that's where that region lies, as I've said before. However, as of this point, let's go out from the fact that we have hit and are now going to reverse, as for example, if we started here, and thus we're wondering where are things going to be going. Well, one kind of simple thing you can always do for yourself is just, if you look at this move, and you've looked at the Fibonacci, you can actually turn them around, but there's a certain way to do it, and I don't know how to do it properly with all of it. Here we go, actually, reverse. You can turn it around and check, okay, you know, we checked the way downwards, we retraced to 0.618, where are we going to go the other way around? And again, you can kind of check for yourself what price levels are looking to get to. And there's a couple of ways to do that, but let's quickly reverse it back down though, as that's not for this chart. We have all of that open right here. And one of the most important things I want to showcase you from right here is that this Fibonacci that I've taken is from our last move. So that is from, let's quickly, am I in the multi-chart? No, I am not. Let's quickly go to the 1 day to check a little bit. You can see this is just from the last couple of days where I took the Fibonacci, not that late. And it's from November 22nd to right around now, November 24th, when it hit the high, right? It's just the last move. And what that has shown us is, first of all, that there's quite a lot of ways to go, but I've also expressed that in a little bit of a different way with two different scenarios here. Let me quickly hide the green one so you guys can focus on the blue one first. This is scenario number one. And what that basically talks about is the analysis I've been describing more often in my videos. One way to see this is through Elliott wave. You can do it that way. Another one is just a simple five-point pattern or something like that, I think a lot of people call it. And basically, it works with Fibonacci extension levels. We, for example, here went to the 0.236 fib. We went down to kind of a starting point, in this case 0, for example. So here's the official starting point of this move, a 0.236 extension back to, I guess, the new 0, or I guess the first correction, which I didn't measure. You can do that for yourself. Then we extended to 1, so to speak, by falling back down to 2 or 0.236 or somewhere along those lines, which is kind of strange. Normally you fall back down one level higher, but in this case it is hitting the top that we previously hit, right? So our low is right now the top, which is going to be completely fine, and then we are going to be bouncing instead of 1 to the 1.618, which is a normal Fibonacci move. It would not be that crazy. However, that is just a shorter term move, and that would see our price at about $1 or about that area. Of course, we're going to see some resistance at $1 specifically though, so that's why I'm not too excited about this one. As I've said, about 89 cents to 92 is a more important region to be watching. And that's why I also came up here with the second one, which is actually a little bit of a broader move. And this one does not reflect all this small price action that we're seeing right here. No, it actually looks at the bigger picture with this bigger uptrend here, this bigger move. Let me quickly get to brush. This whole move right here is actually just the first point instead of the first and the second and the third. It's just the first move, which I guess goes from 0 to 1, so to speak. From 1, we fell back down to the 0.236. From 0.236, we go to number 3, which is at the 1.618 Fibonacci. And then from that point, we again fall back down to possibly 1, because again, that's our previous one we just hit right here, which would be the same type of pattern. And then going all the way up to about the 4.3236. this is something that can definitely happen and definitely does quite happen, or does happen pretty damn often. But another way to look at it is how a lot of you guys have been commenting just now, XRP $2, XRP $2. I think there was most likely somebody that you guys follow, which I have not seen yet, but I might check it out later, who has also claimed $2. But now here's my take on it, right? Here's my take on the situation. $2, well, more specifically here about $2.06 or something like that. However, as we've mentioned before, there's often resistance found just before these psychological barriers that are at prices flat. So for example, $1.98, and for $1, it will most likely be about 99 cents or so as well, as we can see kind of perfectly right here. But it's also kind of funny to see, though, that these bigger targets, they're not really that strange, but they just take a little bit of time. Now, what I'm thinking in terms of time is, if we're actually doing this, is it perpendicular, the name? If we're doing this perpendicular and perpendicular moves, I think we would see something like this happening like in about, what's it going to be, 2 weeks or so? Because these things take some time to unfold, and theoretically speaking, right, it's still a huge amount of gains a day. So let's actually quickly measure that. Our first gain here to our first new level would be still 114% up, while first going down here from our high about, let's see, about, I cannot do that, about 40% down before, oh wait, let's actually check out from the start though, the green one. So first we go up about 170 or so percent, then falling back down about 40, then going back up about, if I can quickly press shift, if I can do that. Let me just do it here then. This is very annoying. We go from right here, we go up about 125% before falling back down right around 30% or so. That's still not even much. We could even fall down a little bit lower then. And then again going up about 170 or so percent in the process. This is not a perfect science. It's about it's about the idea. You know, and that little move could take a couple of days, couple of weeks, we don't really know. But it's actually following the same pattern. It just gets heavier the higher you go, because that's what these charts look like, right? This here is as high of a move as this one would be. It just looks like this one is way higher, but in theory, it's actually not. And these two, falling back down about 40% here and falling back down about 40% here, again, it should be maybe adjusted a little bit, but it's to give you guys an indication. It's not, again, perfect. Maybe to right here would be another 40% fall. It's even 32. You guys get the picture, right? Of about how it should be coming along here with the move. And yeah, I see it as quite likely. Also, due to the fact that we did correct perfectly to the 0.618 fib, and I love these Fibonacci levels, especially right now. We've been looking at the bigger picture here and all the supply and demand zones, but those, they can only get you so far, right? They can only kind of get you to where we have tested, or historically which ones are in there. But whenever I'm also talking to you guys about these longer term prices, for example, on the weekly chart here, we are talking about prices like $14 or $13.50 or something like that. It is always because, in this case here, we've graphed or drawn the previous run. And there's a couple of ways to see that as well, right? I'm not going to say that this exactly is going to be coming on through, because this is a little bit far-fetched. But theoretically speaking, what it would be then is like, okay, we made one move upwards here. We fell back down, possibly making a new bigger move here before falling back down, before making another bigger move. That's, again, if you're seeing it very long term, which maybe we shouldn't really do. But from that perspective, then it could be something along the lines of, and again, I'm just thinking here with you guys as well. We made one big move, another one, and possibly now the biggest one. Right? This again does not make a lot of sense, but it's about the idea that matters here. That this is what you're seeing in bigger pictures as well. Everything is kind of calculated from the start, though. I mean, all these prices, they move in kind of perfect squares and perfect measures. It's not like it's just only manipulation, except for maybe things like what we saw on Coinbase, where the chart just went completely exponential. And I don't have it open right now, but on Coinbase, it was the only exchange where it hit this level right here at about 92 or so cents. On all the other exchanges, it did not, though. It hit the 0.79, which was, again, as we said before and established, perfect for no, it's actually not in this one. It's on a different chart here. It was perfect for our, first of all, resistance, and also one of the Fibonacci points. And that's mostly what we're doing here, just looking at patterns and looking what is likely to occur. Yet things like these are also not a proven science, because we could be going down for a little bit longer and that will mess up your whole wave potentially. All right, it's about the bigger picture though with these waves, as for example, if price action were to continue on towards here, right, and go down a little bit lower, we theoretically speaking could still consider the wave to be true, but it just won't be nearly as perfect. But that's the same thing with a lot of these patterns. You might just look at it and be like, okay, you know, it's for example, this looks like an uptrend, right? For example, but if we get one candle like this and continue on, it's still an uptrend, right? Or if we even get like 3 candles here, it's still an uptrend, even though it kind of looks less perfect than if you were to only see it going like this. Are you guys trying to understand or get what I'm trying to say? So it doesn't really matter for the bigger picture here. It's all about the bigger picture. Yeah, that's just, I think, the easiest way I can describe it. So yeah, all in all, I'm pretty excited for it though. I'm pretty damn excited. And I also want to say that I will recommend you guys to keep drawing all your purchases and all your cash out plans in this sheet. A lot of people said, email it to me, bro. Well, guys, this is a reward for becoming a channel member. You don't have to do that, but then you'll have to make the tracking sheet yourself. I would still recommend everybody to go ahead and do that, though. And I'm still going to be adding a couple of things in here. For example, I'm going to be adding a couple more crypto in this list. It's going to be pretty simple to do, so don't you guys worry about it. I will add XLM, VeChain, Cardano, Litecoin maybe. If you guys want another coin, just comment it in the members tab and I will add it. I'm also going to be adding some historical prices of all these crypto. I don't have an automated way to do it yet, but I will be figuring that out. And I'm also going to be building a total sale minus buying price. So here, again, what we yesterday quickly drew was a purchasing price kind of chart or sheet where you can just put in all your prices and all your things you've bought. And then here the cash out, so you can plan ahead of your whole cashing out scheme and you know exactly what your total money is going to be at. But I also have to quickly deduct the total cost of purchase from the total sale, so you know exactly your netto profit, which I think is going to be cool. Netto revenue profit. Yeah, that would be pretty nice to add, I think, so everybody can just clearly see what's going on there. And also, we mustn't forget, the main reason we can hold on and wait for moves like this is because the fundamentals are correct. Alright, I am not just a bullish individual on the XRP price specifically for the price action, but also on XRP and Ripple for whatever it is they are building. If there was no utility in XRP, I would definitely be looking at this a little bit differently, as I would be more cautious when trying to buy in. But since I'm very bullish long term, even if I were to buy right now and prices go down 5% or so, or even 20%, it doesn't really matter for me. All right, it's unfortunate that I didn't get that 20% extra XRP, yeah, but it's a small cost to pay for the longer term, as we've seen here. Well, you could have bought for the longest time here, and all would have been good. All right, let's actually check that here on a daily here. You could have bought all ever since, theoretically speaking, ever since May of 2018. You could have bought, right? You could have all bought here. Now, if you bought here at the peak in September 2018, well, you would have had less profit. You would have only had a meager, maybe 5%, maybe 3% profit. However, if you bought at the bottom of the bottom here, or averaged it out, I mean, the bottom of the bottom up till now have brought us about 600% gains. Or if you averaged it out, and let's say you were right around this area by going average, you'd still have about 160% profit if you bought at the peak and the lowest point. It's just about, again, making sure your average price is low. I've kind of guaranteed, which I'm not going to do anymore right now, because I know I shouldn't be guaranteeing things at all on the channel, that if your average XRP price was below 50, you would be good. We now hit 78 cents, so from 50 to 78 was, let's quickly check here, about 54% or so profit. You could have sold, you could have not, depending on what your longer term goals are. But I think we're good with our kind of guarantee that below 50 cents buy-in was going to be golden. Now, the big question can just be, are we going to fall back down lower before going up to the moon? Or are we going to kind of reverse now, like we've said could happen, theoretically speaking, in these scenarios? That I do not know. And will scenario 1 play out where this is a considerable move and thus this is the end and now we're going to create a new move? Or is this just wave 1 and this wave 3 and this wave 5, that I cannot tell either. All right, that we're going here and that we're going to these higher prices, yeah, that's for me a proven type of thing, because this, what we're seeing right now, is all I needed to kind of verify for myself that higher prices are possible and that what we're seeing right now is not just a bubble or anything like that. But maybe for you it isn't, all right? That's completely possible. And hey, you should really follow your own intuition and your ideas. What works for me might not work for you, and thus make sure you watch out for that. There's also a ton of analysts who will claim that, again, this or that is going to be happening because of this or because of that. The thing is, everybody has their own point. You know, if they say prices are going to be going down like crazy, it always has a point and things must correct. It does happen that way as well. And here his theory is, again, following Fibonacci. We hit the 1.618 Fib extension level here for Bitcoin in terms of, or it's actually total market cap, not only Bitcoin market cap. We hit that and fell back down, possibly correcting to the 1 of the previous move here. I don't actually see perfectly which move he has picked, but it doesn't really matter for the, okay, he actually took this higher point to the start, right? So he took it, for example, from here to there on the bigger Fibonacci here, and he took 1 from the bottom here in about March to the first level. These are the 2 ones he took. From this one, 0 being 99, or what is it now, 90 billion? The top here being about 400 billion. This is the 1.6 extension at about 584, and we're going to fall back down to about 395 or 400 billion is his idea before resuming the move upwards to possibly, again, one of the other Fibonacci extension levels, which we talked about just now. This is actually basically what we've just expressed, right, on XRP. And this is Michael van der Poppe, who's also a pretty known analyst. It's basically what he says, right? We go to the 1, fall back down to, for example, 2 or 0.236, go to about 1.618, fall back down to 1, and then skyrocket. It's basically the same thing. However, he kind of skipped one move potentially. It's less obvious, but it's still the same idea, still the same regardless. So yeah, guys, hopefully you all enjoyed this. Hopefully you learned something new. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again in another one.